group that I work with, which is working on the recreational forestry and whatnot in Quabbin. We are the citizens part of it, by legislature, not on our own. We had to get this put through the legislature for the MDC. And that whole thing, the whole panel on the board, there are 11, no one knew what the word our museum was like. That was a thing you drop in the computer, and whatever the computer spits out fits in a museum anywhere. Are you uncomfortable about something?
No.
Okay, because I felt I was talking too much.
No. That's great. I really enjoy hearing what you're saying.
They all thought that, well, the question was, what was brought up was that number 8 about vehicle access beyond gates going
Gate
in.
8?
17,
Yeah.
which goes into so gate 8 is
It's
fishing.
Cadwell, right?
Yes, it's fishing gate. And 17 is how you get into Prescott. And that's where we go with the bus. And that was the historians that they wanted only former residents, because that already had been written up on their own law, not through the legislature, but their own MDC rules and regulations.
Right.
Not one on my panel knew what we stood for, not one of them. So they voted no the first time around.
They voted no, which
No.
meant against what?
We couldn't take anybody but people who'd been residents that were members of our society, because we've been going in there for a number of years, and as a resident, they did never question you about going in. You called up, said who you were, they'd say come and get the key at the police station. For years, you could go anywhere you wanted up there, anyway. But of course now you can't.
So have they tried to change that?
Oh yes.
Voting then?
The next meeting we had, the girl from Audubon Society wrote up the motion for me, and I asked to have the vote that was done at the previous meeting, because I had got stuck on the fact that bicycling back on my, you can shut that off, you don't wish to record it.
Oh, you don't want me to record
This is all right, because I stand behind what I say.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't know if it was destroying what you wanted.
No.
The others that were on there had voted no. They didn't want to go along with it. Then she helped me with it, and she used the word pilgrimage to go in, because I got questioned that night from another one on the panel. Said, if I paid $5 to become a member of your society, have a right to go in on the bus, I will not vote for you. For the simple reason that makes me or anybody else able to go in. That isn't so. I said, no, that is incorrect. We vote you in or out to the society. If that's a right that we have. How many times it's been used would be not many. You have to be a friend. You were allowed a friend to take in, or you had to be a member. It grew that much so that it was people, some did join just to take a trip, but they were usually relatives of someone who came to the valley and didn't really want to be a part of it. Afraid you might ask them to help clean up or something.
Do the dirty work. Huh?
Yes. I don't call it dirty work. It's work that can't be done by people in their 70s with bad legs and bad arms.
Okay.
In other words, support physically. Backs and arms, we do not have many. You count them all on one hand, that are able to do what needs to be done when you don't have any money to run a thing. That's what you call volunteers, whether
Yeah.
it's in Africa or here,
Huh.
to do the work.
I might be interested
That
in
takes young people.
volunteering
Yep.
sometime.
Well, that will be your prerogative.
Uh-huh.
And it is very difficult to find middle-aged ones or older ones to even accept it as a place that I feel very deeply about. I'm a first-generation person. My parents weren't born there. They married there and produced me
Uh-huh.
and 5 brothers and sisters. But I have a depth of feeling for that place and its history that 90-some-odd% of the natives that came out of there do not feel. So when I say that more than 50% of our people never saw the valley, it's true.
More than 50% of
More
the
than
people in the historical
50%
society?
of our museum's
Uh-huh.
membership list are people who never saw the valley.
Before it was flooded.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh.
That it's just the mystique of history that you get involved with at times that keeps you going back. Some did work there on the projects. Some went there as cousins or aunts or nephews of somebody that was up there that went there when they were kids, small kids, not daily, not monthly, not yearly, but would go up and see so-and-so. And those are the people that make up the museum. And there's 4 towns. Each little town thinks you aren't doing enough for me. You're doing it for this town, or you're doing it for that town, but I don't see anything of mine, or I don't hear much about me. And I wish I could hear more about my town. And there are people on the executive board, one from each town. And even those people feel, because you're talking about a whole town, you're not talking about an individual, but this one is getting more publicity than us.
Uh-huh.
So it is a most difficult board to be a part of. It isn't the most difficult. It is a difficult board.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that even here in my own little town that's only got its own, our problems are similar. It's just kind of walking down the middle and trying to keep everybody happy.
Uh-huh.
That's the only way you can get along with it. And therefore, everybody has to travel quite a distance. Our president comes from Worcester. He never saw, he knew there was a valley over here, but he's never been a part of it. Yet he's the president.